Hey everyone, Tech Steve here. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to check out this Roku TV that I picked up from Walmart. Now, I was wondering how good this TV is because when you look at the website, a lot of people are buying this television and it has a lot of cool features for the money. So I picked up this Hisense TV for $238 plus tax, and then you can see that it's supporting Roku, 4K capabilities, Dolby Vision, DTS-X sound, 4K upscaler, and it has auto low latency. This TV also supports Apple AirPlay, Apple HomeKit, and Google Home. On this video, we're going to unbox it, take a look at the connections on the back. I'm also going to do some demos on it, setup, everything you need to know so you can see if it's the right decision for you. Let's get into it. Now, cool thing about Roku operating system is that it's very easy to use, and I think a lot of people are going to like that just because if you're looking for simplicity, you can't beat Roku. So in the box, we have some plastic feet. Looks like they screw on, very easy, and we have the Roku remote control. Then we're going to go ahead and pull out the styrofoam and see what's inside. So you do get a quick setup guide, some batteries, power cord, and some screws for the feet. Here's a closer look at the remote control. You have your back, home, navigation, as well as your play, pause, fast forward, and some hotkeys at the bottom. On the side, you're going to find the volume up and down and a mute button. Now I do want to point out here, they do put a piece of cardboard in front of the screen to protect it while it's getting shipped. And just so you know, they do recommend 2 people to lift this, but it's around 35 pounds, so it's not too bad. So on the bottom here, you got a little press button to get through some of the basic settings. You have some speakers, probably only about 10 or 15 watts. And the great thing is the feet right here has this little T shape, so you can't put it in wrong. One thing I want to point out, it doesn't have a center mount, but they're very easy to screw into this little metal bracket here. And then we can look at the back of the TV real quick. And this is a very easy installation. Just put in the 2 screws on each side, good to go. Now, as far as connections on the back of it, you have screw holes so you can mount it to the wall, power cord input, headphone jack, and it has that composite input for older VCRs or gaming consoles. And just in case the TV lock up, you have a reset. We also have 1 USB right there, 2.0, 3 HDMIs, and this is a HDMI eARC, so you can add a soundbar to it. Over here, we have a TV tuner, fiber optic output, and it does have an Ethernet connection. Plus it has Wi-Fi built in. All right, so we got everything unboxed. Let's talk about the picture quality on this television. Well, for me, I think it actually has a really good picture with the right expectations. One thing that really stands out is the details that this picture has, especially for the price point of it. And the Roku operating system is very easy to use and download applications, all that. But as you can see here, if you're looking for something that's basic, I'm gonna say this is a pretty good television. But I would advise you to have the right expectations, especially buying something that's a budget model. Now, even though it is a budget model television, I was pretty impressed with how well it looked on a lot of different content. For example, when I was watching sports on it, it looked fantastic. The brights were great, the colors were popping, and I also want to say that the motion was pretty good on it as well. But one thing I did notice in the menu system is that I couldn't find any motion controls. Maybe I missed it, but I would say that I would think that motion is really handled by the different picture profiles. So if you want to get the best picture, of course, movie settings are the best. But if you're watching a sport event and you don't like the movie setting, you want to switch it over to something else so it gets a little smoother action on you. In movie mode, I would say that the contrast is pretty impressive. As you can see on this demo, it's pretty dark and detailed. But let me show you some different settings in the television so you can see exactly what it looks like. Now with the TV and SDR, I just want to show you some of the picture settings. If you go over here to the different settings, you can see there's a movie mode right here. It gives it that warm look. But you do have standard mode, vivid, which makes it a little bit too bright. And plus you can see the backlights a lot. So movie mode is going to give you that nice warm picture on it. And I will say that this TV is pretty impressive. And you can also customize the picture with the backlights, contrast, sharpness, and there's a game mode if you have it connected to the input. And then we also have expert settings where you can change the gamma, noise reduction, color temperature, color space. In HDR mode, you have this dark mode, which I think looks the best. You have standard mode, kind of washes everything out, and then you have bright. So I'll say dark is good, and you can customize the picture as well, just like you can do the other settings, including the expert modes right here. So Dolby Vision looks good, but I still like the SDR mode on most TVs. But if you're looking for Dolby Vision, you can have some different settings like normal, bright, and dark. So I think dark would probably be the one I would go with. And then you can go here and customize it and get the brightness and contrast exactly how you like it. But I think all these different settings on this television looks really good, especially for the price point this TV is, and you have all these different settings. If you plan on buying this TV for movies, you're going to be very impressed with the colors on it, especially the fact that the reds pop on it. You get a lot of shadow details, and you're going to get a picture that actually stands out pretty well. And watching this TV, I just wonder, how do they get such great colors out of something at the price points that it is? But it's not perfect. When it comes to dirty screen effects, I did see some blotchy areas on it. And I would say it depends on that picture profile. You might see some gray in the backlights, but again, you got to have realistic expectation when buying a TV like this. But overall, when it has a great signal on it, the TV looks really good. We all seen this glow around the images at the end of a movie whenever your TV is too bright or doesn't have good blooming control. But I'll say this TV does a really good job. I didn't see any kind of glow around the images. Everything looks very intact, and the TV again has great contrast. In my testing, I also think this TV has pretty good upscaling. So I want to put these different pictures side by side so you can take a look at it. And as you can see, even 480p looks decent on it. As we go to 4K, it's going to give you the best resolution. But for old content, I think you're going to be just fine. And it has a pretty good anti-reflection coating on it. So if you plan on putting it in a room with a lot of lights, you will see some reflection, but it's not as bad as other TVs I've seen on the market. When it comes to audio, I'm just going to be completely honest. You need to get a soundbar to go with this television, but you can take a listen, put some headphones on if you want to get the best experience.
This is a Tech Steve voice audio test to see how good this TV sounds for movies.
Now, if you wonder how to set up this television, I'm going to show that in just a moment. But if you are into gaming, let me show you some of the different configurations that this TV has to offer. Now, when it comes to gaming, this TV is kind of different because it doesn't have a gaming bar, but you can see right here that it locked into the gaming mode with the PS5 plugged into it. But the interesting thing is that you can go back in here and you can change it to different picture modes. So instead of having a locked in gaming setting, again, you can choose your own picture settings to get the best picture out of it, which I kind of like because you're not set up with a particular picture profile just for gaming. Now we're going to take a look at the PS5 settings and see what it's capable of doing. You can see that it does support 4K at 60 frames per second. It does not support 1440p, but it will support auto low latency and HDR settings as far as the gaming. So you're looking at about 13.4 milliseconds, which is pretty decent considering that any TV that's below 30 milliseconds is actually pretty decent. So in my experience, I thought gaming was really good on this television, and I didn't really see any smearing or tearing or anything like that. So if you're a gamer, I think you're going to be just fine. Just keep in mind, 60 frames per second will be your max capability. Now, for those who stuck around and you just bought this television and you wonder how to set it up, now I'm going to walk you through that process so you can see how many steps it takes to get this TV set up and how to do it. When setting up a Roku TV, make sure you hit the back button on the remote control once so you don't get that screen reader. Then you want to choose your language, choose your country. You want to set it up for home use. And then if you have a wired connection, you want to choose this. But if you have Wi-Fi, go ahead and press on wireless. Once you enter your Wi-Fi credential, it'll then look for software updates. Once the update's complete, you'll get this screen. You can enter your email address, but if you have the Roku application on your phone, you can just activate the QR code and scan it, and it'll connect it directly to your application. But for ease of use, we'll just use the email address. After you enter your email account, you want to go to your email and go ahead and continue from your computer or smartphone and log into your Roku account to activate it. So now I'm on the computer, I'm going to press on activate device, and then it's going to open up my Roku account. As you can see here, it did find the 58-inch, and I can tell it which room I'm going to locate it in. You can customize one at the bottom. Then read the terms and conditions. You can add a payment if you like, if you plan on buying applications. And then it's going to ask you a few questions. Do you have cable or satellite TV? I'll put no. If you want any of these apps installed, you can go ahead and choose those. It will give you this TV lineup so it can download other apps. You can choose a couple of them, hit continue. And you can add these other applications on your TV as well if you want to install. Once you do that, hit continue. They also offer some free trials. If you want to do that, you can go ahead and add those. Otherwise, go down to the bottom, hit continue. And now you can go to your Roku account and your TV should be setting itself up. Now back on the TV, you can see that it's starting to download applications and get the TV ready to go. Once this is completed, you can then start using the application, sign into anything that you like. You can also customize the interface as well. Once that's completed, it's going to look for connected devices. Make sure you have everything plugged in, like your gaming consoles, cable box, as well as your antenna. And then it's going to go through the different inputs and look for the connections. If you don't want to see the inputs on the main screen, you can hide them, but let's go ahead and do this later. And again, that's for all the inputs on the TV. And now we're all done. So this is the Roku operating system. We're not going to spend too much time on here, but here's your home button. If you press the little star on the remote, you can move apps to the top. You can also remove them off the TV. On the side here, we have live TV, and they do have a built-in guide. You can search, and then down here we have settings. And this is where you can reconnect your networks, as well as add more devices like remotes and speakers. You have different themes. And then we have TV settings, and as you can see there, it does support Dolby Vision. We also have audio settings, and here's where you can set up the Apple AirPlay or HomeKit. And then under System, this is where you can connect USB drives to it. You have filmmakers mode where it's automatic, screen mirroring, updates, and then you have advanced settings right there. So there's a lot of different settings in here, and I just want to show you a rough idea of what the Roku operating system looks like. Here's my final thoughts about this Hisense Roku TV. Roku is simple. So with this remote control, anybody can use it. In fact, my mother has Roku on her television because some of the operating systems are just confusing. Now, as far as any type of problems with the TV, I didn't see anything, but I will say that on some different picture profiles, you're not going to get the inkiest black level. Sometimes you will see the backlights. Another thing is I don't see any motion controls, but other than that, I don't really see too many problems with this TV. So believe it or not, I'm going to recommend this to someone who's looking for a television, don't really want to spend a lot of money, and they want to get a pretty good experience. That's all I have on this one. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and watch my videos so you'll be recommended for the YouTube algorithm. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.